Robinson first designed the R22 back in 1974, went into production in 1979. He's built over 10,000 helicopters worldwide, and this particular machine you're seeing Jim, my husband, fly today, has a serial number of 4,896. So it's an incredible story. It's a great aviation success story, and you can see Jim pulling up there. Believe you me, because the Perspex canopy on a Robinson is so, I describe it as a real panoramic view. So Jim, this is 30 years experience to be able to do something like this. Because they are a small helicopter, they're very lightweight, and they're what I would say very, very twitchy. So, and they say most people that can master the Robinson R22 will go on to fly bigger helicopters.
Well, it means you're going to fly a bigger helicopter, Jim. They use these for mustering and rounding up the cattle, and so to speak, and everything. They're used for lots of things.
Well, I think that's what Frank Robinson has built up over a long period of time, is their reliability. They're low cost to run. They're a great training helicopter, and of course you see them used extensively in Australia for mustering. So they're powered by a 360 Lycoming engine, 180 horsepower. They're two-seater. They have a fuel burn of 38 litres an hour, and they cruise on your own at about 90 knots, which is about 160 kilometres an hour. So if you hop in and plan your Sydney trip, you can be there in about 5.5 hours with a fuel stop at Wagga. So and a lot of fun.
Yes, we've done a few trips together, haven't we, Jen? Because it's about the same speed as the Chipmunk and the Ryan, and we've got what we call little budgies flying out to the left of us. And there's Jen there, which makes little comments every now and then, but great fun. Flying it sideways now, Jen, do you do that?
Well, yes I do, but Jim's showing you a nice, smooth, faster sort of thing. Most of us, when we learn to fly a helicopter, we do pedal turns. We've got to fly them sideways, fly them backwards. We've got to be able to control the helicopter in any attitude. So what you're seeing Jim do is sort of up a scale of helicopter flying.
And backwards?
And backwards. And backwards.
That'd be scary.
And you saw Jim earlier today flying the Stewart Mustang, and a lot of people ask you, where did your flying start? And it started with the Robinson R22. So it was back in 1987 when he wandered up to Heliflight in Sydney, which is one of our biggest agents. And he was the one just going for the ride, and that's where his flying started. He just said to Lindsay up there, what price can you do me for a machine and lessons? And then 3 months later he had a licence. So then he's progressed into fixed-wing flying as well. But this helicopter has taken us around Australia in a big round the coast trip. It's great for going fishing. You can hop into lots of fishing spots. It just is such a fun machine to fly, and I can't give it a bigger rap. And it's a great credit to Frank Robinson.
When you do fishing, you're not hovering over the ocean and throwing out a line, are you? And dragging a fish.
No, you've got to actually land.
Oh, fair enough.
Shut down, and then I think Jim has this sort of technique where he opens the door and has this cast usually into a river. So, but as I say, it's a wonderful little machine. Frank Robinson is a $200 million business. It employs 1,300 people, and I often describe it as like walking into a Ferrari factory. He's building one R22 a week. He's building 4 to 5 R44s, which are the 4-seater version of this, which has been a real success for him. And he's also building about 5 R66s, which is the turbine version of the Robinson, which is...
Can't wait to see you in a turbine, love.
I'd love a turbine. But I think this will be... And I think I said to Jim, there's only one catch with owning a Robinson, is that Frank Robinson puts a 12-year life, or 2,200 hours on any of his helicopters. So that doesn't mean it's there falling apart. Blades at 12 years are thrown away, tail rotors are thrown away, and they call it a region. So what Jim and I, because we're lower hour pilots, we tend to trade the machine at 9 years with maybe 900 hours on, and usually a musterer will pick it up for a flying school because they will use the hours, and then we usually opt to go to a new machine. So this lovely little gold machine that's just settling down over on the other side of the runway, probably in another 4 years we'll see it mustering. So it looked rather pretty up in the high country having a muster. So, but anyway, Pete, it's given us a lot of joy. It's taken us to many places, and the beauty of it lives at home. So
yeah, that's right, in your own backyard.
Did you use park back to your place?
What great place. Take off there, the trail of smoke behind him. Chris was absolutely stuck in his aircraft. Thank you very much indeed, Jenny. Wait a minute. Yeah, got to get a kiss from the girls before they go.
Now this aircraft is a Pitts S1-11B, known as the Super Stinker, powered by a 310 horsepower Lycoming 540 cubic inch engine. It has high compression pistons, a cold air reduction system, and both an inverted fuel and oil system. Chris is 13 times Australian aerobatic champion. Sponsored by QBE, Aero Service, 5DME, Premier Adelaide Aviation Videos, and Spray Cheap Paints.
And it's a superb paint job. What a paint job. Chris has been Australian aerobatic champion many times.
13 times.
13. Okay. So as you can see there, very polished performer.
Hovering there. Fantastic smoke. And that has to hurt when he comes out of it. Oh. Super Stinker, so called in Australia. We believe that 3 of them were specifically built by Curtis Pitts for the USA World Aerobatic Championship team. But around that time, monoplanes were in, certainly with the Russians, and lifting the field, so the Americans opted to go for the monoplane. Some years later, one of them was resurrected. They replaced a 260 horsepower engine with a 300 horsepower plus engine, and it was very well received on the American airshow circuit. This isn't one of those aircraft. Warren Stewart, a Lamian commercial pilot, and Chris built this aircraft for plans. It took them 18 months, and he tested it based on the register under the experimental category. As I said, it's the only super stinker, so-called, in Australia.
We've got 3 people watching my live.
Chris actually chose the biplane because these aircraft have a huge degree of nostalgia about them. And he just likes biplanes. Have a look at how precise each one of those manoeuvres are. And there's nothing gentle about that up there. Chris is wearing a 5-point harness to keep himself in the aircraft. And the lower one is actually worked by a beautiful stall turn.
Fine. Knife edge pass there. The aircraft snap rolls brilliantly.
He's been doing this for a long, long time, Pete. A consummate airshow performer. And as he brings it in here for a landing,
He actually started his life as a handline fisherman, believe it or not.
really,
That's all, folks.
wheel, the other wheel.
Chris was also